What's going on, everybody? Forgot the Canadian national anthem also gets played here. We're disrespecting it. Sorry, I tried to time it. No, Jackson's here too. Yeah, Jackson, I saw your text a second too late. We should have waited.
Well,
They don't even respect it either. The MSG broadcast also cut away.
yeah,
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Dylan? Thanks for being here. You're about to watch two Cavs fans watch two of our least favorite teams, probably, right? We hate the Raptors. We hate the Knicks. I don't hate the Raptors that much, but just historically, not a big fan.
hate the Raptors.
Okay, we still hate the
Knicks.
Raptors.
Hate the Knicks.
We still hate
Still
the
hate
Knicks,
the
of
Raptors.
course. The Raptors, I just, the Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley rivalry really does it for me. Other than that, I don't really have any problem with Toronto.
Oh, one of the nice things about playback is that you can just say stuff without like repercussions of anything. So one of the things that I wouldn't, I mean, like to like a degree. One of the things after the most recent Cavs and Raptors games, there was a lot of, I would say, making fun of Scotty Barnes maybe in the Cavs locker room afterwards.
Okay.
Evan said something about how he's been playing against Scotty Barnes since he was in 8th grade, and then Donovan and Darius just kept going back and forth saying, "You've been busting his ass since 8th grade," and Evan was getting in on it just a little bit. So there is a healthy rivalry, I think, between both of them, even if Evan, and then it was funny, like Serena was standing there, saw all of it, and then was like, "So Evan, is there like any rivalry between you and Scotty?" And Evan was like, no.
Yeah.
So that was good. But yeah, what are the things you can, say on playback with your 5 closest friends? So
yeah, no, there's definitely a healthy rivalry, and I mean that genuinely when I say healthy, because it hasn't really gotten out of hand, I don't think. And I don't know. Evan Mobley's had the upper hand, I would say, throughout all of it, even though Scotty Barnes was named Rookie of the Year somewhat fraudulently.
That would say that Scotty Barnes has had the upper hand then, if that's the case. But
it was a rigged election.
It was.
The votes were fraud. Listen, Evan Mobley was the Rookie of the Year for 80% of the season, and then Scotty Barnes had a really good end, and everyone was like, "Wow, let's give it to Scotty. Let's ignore that Evan Mobley was the better rookie for 80% of the games."
What did they get, like the 4th seed or something like that, or 5th, 6th seed?
Who?
The Raptors, because they made the playoffs.
I don't think they were that high though. I can try to check. I don't think they were that high. Maybe
because they had a really good end of the regular season, which caused them to really, the Scotty Barnes was like, he's on a winner. He's contributing to a winner. And the Cavs, they fell apart because Jared Allen got injured. Yeah, they fell apart down the stretch. Remember the Cavs beat the Raptors at home in like the middle of March, and it felt like they were going to secure like a top 6 spot, potentially threaten like a top 4 spot. But then Jared Allen banged his hand on the rim, missed basically the rest of the regular season, and then came back for like that playing game against the Hawks and still wasn't really himself with one hand, understandably so. So yeah, just to, basically Evan Mobley lost because Jared Allen got hurt. That's basically what it came down to.
The Raptors finished with 48 wins that year. The Cavs had 44. So like I still think you painted the picture pretty well. That's exactly what happened. The Cavs kind of fell off a cliff a little bit towards the end of the year. Raptors peaked at the right moment, and that's why you got Scotty Barnes. Really, I would say that's the whole reason. It's just he peaked at the right moment. But even then, the gap was like the Raptors barely finished ahead. Evan Mobley was the better player throughout the entire year. Sometimes it goes that way. It's perfect timing for Scotty and the Raptors to find their stride right when people were getting ready to lock in their votes.
I will say the Cavs were a really rough watch down the stretch there. A lot of Rondo minutes. Remember Darius missed some time there at the end.
It got real ugly, man. Brandon Goodwin was out there.
Brandon Goodwin was out there. There was also a lot of Lamar Stevens minutes.
Yeah, the dog.
Not a lot of Jetty minutes because JB said, no, thank you. We're good. But, just not a lot of good stuff there from the Cavs at the end of that season. I remember they it was like a must-win game against the Hawks if they wanted to I guess they lost to the Hawks later on. But a game that they had to win, and it was if they wanted the chance at top 6 seed, and they got blown out by 40, and it was
yeah.
It was bad. It was bad down the stretch. So I think that really did play a part in it. Whereas you turned on the Raptors, and it was you got Siakam, you got OG Anunoby, you got all these wings, and then Scotty Barnes is just fitting in perfectly along in that group, and they're just going to grow together. And I could get the rationale. And Scotty Barnes was every team wanted a playmaking wing, and Scotty Barnes fit that bill. So I get why, some national media people saw it that way, whereas Evan Mobley, traditional big, doesn't shoot threes. I think that all kind of just culminated in let's just give it to Scotty.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up their stats post All-Star break of that year, just out of curiosity, since it's been a few years, kind of reminisce there. So Scotty Barnes, after the All-Star break in 21-22, his rookie year, he averaged 17 points, 3.7 assists, 7.7 rebounds, and he shot, let's see, sorry, it's going slow, shot 27% from the three-point line. So he wasn't really spacing the floor. Did shoot 53% from the floor, though. So 17, 7, and 3, shooting, pretty decent from the floor, but not good from the three-point line. Mobley, hold on, sorry, I want to give him his steals and assists, too, because I'm going to bring up Mobley's. Barnes averaged 1.2 steals and 0.6 blocks. Mobley, post-All-Star break, put up 15 points, almost 2 blocks per game, 0.7 steals, 2.4 assists, 8.8 rebounds. He shot 20% from the three-point line, 52% from the floor. So basically equal shooting splits. Mobley averaged 2 less points, more blocks, more steals, slightly less assists, more rebounds. But his team won fewer games. That's with Mobley playing better way before that. It's true. Bigger points number.
That's
all that matters.
If you look at the Cavs and Raptors records after that time, post All-Star break records, I'm sure you would see the Cavs are 12 and 20 or something stupid like that, and the Raptors, if that, maybe 10 and 20. And the Raptors were
still, I mean, and I get you're not making that case, but it's still just so stupid.
I mean, you were making that case. We were making that case.
No, I'm saying it's silly to be oh, well, rookie of the year goes to the guy who's on a team that's more well established and are winning more games. I don't think it should work that way. It's rookie of the year.
It hasn't worked that way, except for when it did work that way.
Well, yeah, this one time.
Yeah.
It was rough.
So
and then, last year, I think I would make a case that Jared Allen probably should have been in the All-Star game over Scotty Barnes, but that's one that I'm willing to let pass.
He should have.
Just because he was unbelievable, well. And he peaked at the right time, so you would have thought, maybe he'd get rewarded, but no. Okay. I was about to say, are they going to bring the scoreboard up? It's been 2 minets. They're waiting for
someone to score. Yeah. No score, no scoreboard.
0-0. Cavs don't do that. FanDuel doesn't do that.
They just don't show the plays. Yeah, we don't care about the Canadian audience.
To be fair, I will say Scotty Barnes is a good player. He did deserve to be in the All-Star game. He had a case for Rookie of the Year.
It's literally not what you just said, but that's fine.
He wasn't completely...
You just said he didn't deserve to be in the All-Star game.
I said Jared Allen probably should have been in it over him, but he definitely... Okay. There's a lot of guys who are all-star tier players who don't always make it.
Okay.
He hit a 3 on cue while I was hyping him up, too.
No, Scotty Barnes is actually good. Just Evan Mobley's better. That's kind of what it comes down to.
Agreed. Okay, so I'm interested to see how the Knicks look. I haven't been able to watch them too closely. Their offense has been unbelievable. Defense lagging behind quite a bit, but if they can even just be top 15 defense, they're pretty tough to beat. Glad Karl-Anthony Towns is playing too. He was questionable. Obviously changes the entire outlook of the team when he's out there.
Yeah, I am a big, okay, maybe big is too strong of a word. I am a Karl-Anthony Towns respecter. I think that he gets way too much crap for who he is as a player. I know that I think like players who you can see their flaws really easily, I think are easy punching bags, and you can see Karl-Anthony Towns' flaws easily. But he's just like an offensive cheat code in that, having a big of his size that can just shoot over the defense is just not something that guys have. Like that really, I don't know if any other team really provides it to the level. Any other player provides it to the level that like Karl-Anthony Towns does, and he also has a really good post game. He's a really good passer. We just saw there. So, it's. I don't know if his fit on the Knicks is the best. I thought his fit with the Timberwolves was a lot better when you have like, Rudy Gobert with him. But still, yeah. I mean, Kristaps Porzingis is definitely. I think maybe like a cleaner archetype. Like, KP's not going to use a bunch of like post possessions. He's a better defender. He's not really switchable, I would say, but he can kind of like, he has enough length where he can kind of hang in situations when he needs to on the perimeter. So he's maybe a little cleaner fit, but Karl-Anthony Towns, I think, is a better offensive player. The thing that I think is kind of frustrating is he's not like an offensive player in the sense that like, oh, he's just an offense in and of himself. And that's kind of what, you thought he could be. His first couple of years in like Minnesota, he really was like, I remember playing 2K for like 2 or 3 years, and like every time he played the Timberwolves, the announcers would be like, "Oh yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns voted to be the best player in 5 years," or something stupid like that. You know what they say, but it's like it was true that was kind of the thought was that like he could be that type of player. So.
Yeah, I think Towns is the better offensive player compared to KP, but KP is kind of like he can really just play without the ball. Like he just fits so seamlessly into what Boston built. Whereas Karl-Anthony Towns, he's fit in really well to New York now, but we saw a little bit of an adjustment period just because he is a guy who needs the ball quite a lot more than KP. But he already made progress in terms of letting Anthony Edwards run the show in Minnesota. It's seeming to help with him and Jalen Brunson here already. Not, I would say, nowhere near as good of a defender as Porzingis. And I don't necessarily want Porzingis switched out onto an island at all, but like compared to Karl-Anthony Towns, I feel more comfortable with it. He moves his feet a lot better. He uses his length well. Much better rim protector, not just in terms of like actually blocking shots, but just being in the right place at the right time. Again, using his size, not committing really questionable fouls like Karl-Anthony Towns will throughout his entire career.
Yeah, I mean,
committing some really boneheaded fouls. Yeah, he's very bad. And then, he's much better on offense, but KP brings a lot in his own way. So,
Karl-Anthony Towns is going to play basketball games.
And that's why he's better, because he's actually going to be available. But yeah, I mean, the Knicks have been trying to kind of recreate the Boston Celtics style.
We'll see if it works at every position.
Yeah, well, Jalen Brunson, I guess they have that. He's better than Drew, but the thing is, I know sometimes like Boston's closest thing to a weakness that they have is their rim protection. I think like their ability to protect the paint. But when they're healthy, I mean, you still got Kristaps Porzingis, who does pretty damn good job there, and Al Horford, who he's not who he used to be. He's not in his prime anymore. He doesn't have the height that you would necessarily want against some of the taller, like when he goes up against Evan Mobley in some cases, but he does pretty well. He hangs in there. And if you're just comparing it to what New York has, like I'll take Al Horford over Karl Anthony Towns, in terms of defense, in terms of protecting the rim, I mean, just that specific skill.
Yeah. Horford's a better defender, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was almost a really bad take.
Yeah, no. Karl Anthony Towns is much better player. I'm just saying they don't have, you're not patching
how bold
up.
Of you.
You can have all the you can have all the wings that you want, but if you don't have anyone who can protect the rim, it gets a little shaky. Boston has that.
They do. Dan, I missed your comment earlier that you hate all of Canada. I'm sorry for missing that.
Also, please don't send that to Knicks Muse. I think I muted him or whoever runs that account. I muted them a long time ago.
Please do send it to Knicks Muse. We're trying to get more people in the chat, and I think that'd be a good way to get more people in the chat.
Yeah.
So just Tony fighting for his life in the comments. Go for it. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh man, I still remember after every single loss in that series from 2022,
and there was about 12 of them.
Well, it felt like it. Every single loss, there would just be 80 Knicks fans, all from Knicks Muse, spamming my mentions with like Cavs in 5, like quotes of different things that I have said, and I'm like, this is horrible.
That's kind of sick.
It was awful.
I mean, I still stand by my Cavs in 5 take. Our Cavs in 5
I stand by it too. Yeah. Should have happened. I think you run it back again. No, they. I would never run it back again. the Cavs had a lot of issues that got really exposed, but it made all the sense in the world to take them in 5 heading into.
I can't believe JB survived that. In hindsight, that's pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy, yeah.
But he was basically
there was no adjustments.
He was basically fired for it because, like losing in 5 was a really acceptable outcome, to the Celtics.
Yeah. Getting out coached by Tibbs.
Yeah. I mean, Tibbs does have more hair, so maybe that's you gotta think about that too.
Yeah. It's true. JB, he beat Jamal Mosley, who doesn't really have much hair at all. So maybe that's the key there.
Yeah, well, does JB have more hair in his beard than Tibbs have on his head? That that's
actually
something
probably,
to think about.
He probably does. So
I don't know. I think Tibbs' hair is long. Like he doesn't have a lot of it, but the 6 strands are long.
Yeah, 6 strands.
Did he have a beard? But he didn't have a beard at that time, right? I think the beard's kind of a newer thing. Dan, I do believe you with everything. I don't believe you here. I'm sorry. Yes, please send it into the chat. Thank you.
A lot of length on display here from the Raptors. Nowhere for the ball handlers to go right now. Pirtle and Barnes were wreaking havoc on that possession.
I think the Cavs are the second best offense, or did they fall to third?
I think they're third.
Okay, so I was going to say
New York is number 1. Is Boston number 2?
I mean, if it's not the Cavs, it's Boston. They're always like flipping spots.
Mm.
I always, for like an article, I always like if I look at the NBA.com and cleaning the glass, and I choose whatever one makes the Cavs look better. So,
Fair enough.
I don't have consistency.
Yeah.
Dan's been pretty quiet over there. I think he's trying to figure out how to accept this L.
He's trying to find the right picture that he saw.
Yeah.
It's all about the lighting. Makes it look bigger, He's trying to find that perfect picture of Tibbs' beard.
Love to see that from RJ Barrett. I'm sure they said on the broadcast that we were talking over. Do you know how many times RJ Barrett's played the Knicks?
I feel like a lot, right?
I mean, he got traded last year, so he couldn't have played that many times.
Well, how many? What's the answer? Is this his first
Oh,
time?
I don't know. I was asking you.
Oh, I feel like they match up. I feel like it's all every time I look at the Knicks schedule, they're playing the Raptors. It feels like
That's a pretty thin beard, Dan. I don't know.
yeah, but I do think it probably outweighs. When you add that plus the strands he has on his head compared to JB, I think it adds up.
I don't know. I think he had those strands cut really really tight in this picture. If you're looking at it, that's a pretty tight cut. He went to the barber and said, make this clean. No, I think he's letting his hair. I think he's letting his hair grow a little bit now.
See if I can find this.
As somebody who has a lot of hair, I can't imagine what shampooing would feel like if you only have like that much hair. Like I'd be so scared.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry,
that's right out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I guess maybe he's only played the Knicks one time, but it was this in January. But the Raptors play him 4 times a year, so
right.
Barrett's been injured a couple times.
And the Knicks suck. People forget that.
It's true. They're down 6. That was a good thing about the Cavs losing is that Boston and New York also lost.
I mean, they're not
no ground gained there.
I think if New York catches you, then it's a sign that things have not been going well.
Yeah, things would have to go very bad. They're currently 6 games ahead of New York, but it's still so early.
Yeah, I mean, 6 games is a lot. It's a lot of games.
New York right now, I would say if I had to guess, Cavs are obviously they're number 1 right now. Boston's a game and a half behind. After that, Orlando is 4.5 games behind, and then you have the Knicks at 6. I think New York will probably overtake Orlando and be the 3rd seed, and I think that's how the season finishes. I think it's 1, 2, 3, Cleveland, Boston. One or two will be Cleveland and Boston, and then New York will end up at the 3rd spot.
Did you know you could make this full screen?
The game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not like full screen.
Yeah, will even take out the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the chat
though,
I think the chat still shows up. No, but I think the chat still shows up though.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I haven't tried that.
We'll say something in the chat. Then I can tell you.
Okay, I just said something.
Yeah, it shows up on the top right.
Oh, okay, then I'll go ahead and do that. Look at that. It'll be a lot easier.
Yes, I can see you, Dan.
Oh yeah, it shows up right there.
Yeah.
Well, this is so much better.
I know.
It's still smaller than my TV, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah. This is great. Never been this excited before. I don't know why I didn't try to click some buttons earlier. Oh,
man,
you missed
Elio Linux out there too. It's really a hate watch.
You missed it yesterday. I was the first 5, 6 possessions, I think I cleared my throat, so I muted my mic, and then I forgot to unmute it.
You forgot to unmute.
No, I took a sip of water. So I took a sip of water, but because my camera was off because I was using my computer, my wife needed hers. So nobody could see that I was talking, but I was just talking and talking and talking, and then I looked down and it was muted, and then yeah, that was bad.
Rookie mistake. No, I did that when I did the stream with Corey. I was on mute for a couple minutes, and Corey was like, I don't know if Tony's on mute or if he left, and I was like, oh my god, that's the worst when that happens.
Yeah, well that happens because we can't see you. Yeah,
well, you can still see the box shows up with the white around it. It highlights my.
I hide your little box because I don't need to see.
It's fine.
I don't need to see your little
picture.
Yeah, I've seen it. Another team exploiting child labor. This is
they're kind of good though.
That's what you expect from Canadians. My wife's Canadian, for the record, so I get a pass. But I will say that because I make frequent trips to Canada. One time I was in the store. It was 2018, so it was this season after like LeBron left, but like the playoffs hadn't happened yet, and like I was wearing like my Cavs hoodie, and this guy came up to me and he was like, "It must suck to be you," and I was like, "Excuse me." And he was like, "You're a Cavs fan. You're never going to win again." And I said, "Excuse me, sir. Like, I'm just like,
where's this coming from?
like, why are you coming up to me and doing that?" So, and I was like, "Well, we, like respectfully, like we beat you 3 years in a row. So like, I don't know that you have like a foot to stand on." So anyways, it's, stuff like that happens in Canada all the time. A lot of people saying sorry, but then, mean things like that. So,
I was going to say, they have a reputation for being so nice.
Well, they say sorry, but they say sorry, but the saying sorry that's not actually nice,
Yeah.
So, well, you don't want to get me started, but that is something that,
I'm doing the simulcast to YouTube, and for some reason it shows that the score is 75-3, New York. And then Derek Simmons in the chat said 75-3. Sheesh. I wonder if anyone's gonna click in here and be like, "Wow, what's going on over there?" That's funny. Well, I don't know what happened with the scoreboards messed up.
Well, if you're on the YouTube and you want to come over and actually watch the stream with us, head on over to playback.tv/Fear the Sword. You can watch it. You can watch it with us. So, it's 24-25. So neither team has eclipsed 74 points yet, but both teams do have more than 3. So,
true. And while you're here, if you're in the playback and you're not following us, go ahead and hit us with the follow. Something that I want to try pushing more often to get people to stick around.
Yeah. We do this for...
Oh, blew a layup.
We'll be back tomorrow to do some fun NBA Cup games. What is it tomorrow? Mavs and... who is it?
Mavs and...
Thunder?
Rockets. It's the Rockets, right?
No, it's Rockets and Warriors. Mavs and Thunder.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're confusing me by saying Mavs. Or it's Mavs and Thunder, right?
Yes.
I don't know why I was thinking Warriors.
Rockets and Warriors is the next day, but we're doing.
Yes, you're correct.
We're doing Thunder and Mavs, and then we're also doing the next day.
We don't know what we're
Knicks
doing.
And Hawks. We're doing Knicks and Hawks the next day. We know what we're doing. I mean, Dan knows what he's doing. We don't. We may not know what we're doing now.
Yeah, the 2 games tomorrow. The other one's Orlando versus Milwaukee. We're not going to watch that one. We're going to watch the second game of the night at 9:30. It seems like it, knock on wood, will be the much better game. Orlando playing without Franz or Paolo. Probably not very exciting. But the Milwaukee Bucks do kind of suck, so you never know.
They could implode.
They could do something.
Yeah, don't want to put it past them.
But Mavs Thunder should be much more fun.
Yeah.
And then what are we doing Wednesday again? You just said it. There's a couple games on Wednesday, so we can surf around.
No, it's still the NBA Cup. So it's It's Warriors and Rockets. It's Warriors and Rockets, and then that's the second game, and then the first game is the Hawks and Knicks. And Thursday we can surf.
We're gonna watch Hawks Knicks.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot that they also do the NBA Cup on Wednesday, even though it's Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Friday. It's the group stage games
are always Tuesday, Friday. So
that's why I got confused. Yeah.
Saturday is the quarterfinals, which I will be at. In
Friday's the return of the Cleveland Cavaliers,
which I will not be at. I will not be at. But hopefully some other people.
Wednesday, Thursday though.
Yeah, I'm missing 2 games. Missing that Cavs game. I don't know if it's worth. So I'm flying Frontier, which is always, always a little sketchy. I was like, I should buy Wi-Fi so I could watch the Cavs game. And I was like, it'd be like a $30 Cavs game to watch. Probably.
It's probably not worth
it. And then I was like, well, they don't even have like outlets for like my phone. So like my phone could just die. Like,
it's not worth trying.
That's tough.
You're better off just watching the replay.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. But Yeah, and especially because the replay is only going to be like, you only have to watch the first like 12 minutes. They're playing the Wizards,
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they'll take care of business really quick. Yesterday's game was ugly, man.
Yeah.
I barely even paid attention, to be honest. It was so boring. It just no life the entire game.
Well, me and Dan were paying attention.
Yeah.
We can tell you everything that you
I
missed.
respect it. I respect it.
You didn't miss anything. You missed Jared Allen not showing up.
Yeah.
Darius actually had a really good
Mobley
game.
got hurt. Darius was really good. I was paying attention. I was not locked in.
Who's in the Cowboy?
Like I normally
who's
would.
dressed like a cowboy over there?
I think it's Bruce Brown. I think he's
done
that before. Yeah. Him and Scotty Barnes have dressed up in the cowboy fits. I don't know why. I don't know where that stems from, but
I mean, Toronto is about as far from, maybe not about as far, but I mean, Soto hadn't even signed yet, had he? He's probably. I do remember in like 2014, like working when LeBron was like potentially coming back to Cleveland. I didn't work for like 2 weeks because I was just like refresh. So yeah, I get that. And then when the news finally
oh, sorry. Keep going. I was going to change topics.
I was going to say when the news finally did go through, I had to like read it from like 12 different sources before I actually like believed it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was surreal, man.
Sports Illustrated, is that actually reputable? It says written by LeBron James. Do we trust him? That picture looks fake.
Oh my god. If that came out today, we would be like, is that AI? Is that Photoshop? Is this real? Back then, at least you had more reason to just accept it at face value.
Yeah.
But yeah, Derek on YouTube says the Raptors are going to overcome the 72-point deficit. The Knicks don't have Mo Bronto or LeBronto or Donovanto. Yeah.
That
guy.
LeBronto worked so good. I think
Mo Bronto isn't too bad. Donovan Anto. Donato's is just a pizza brand, so you can't say that.
Yeah. The lug goes so well.
We respect the attempt.
Yeah,
anything works.
Yeah. That was a brick.
Yeah, that was loud. Having your headphones on when you listen to some of these games really shows you how loud some of the bricks are.
Yeah, I was gonna
game.
I was gonna ask you, have you officially moved on from the AirPods?
For this, when we do the live streams, yes, because I don't know why they literally die.
Started.
They die on me every time we try to do this. Every time I've tried to use them, they don't last 2 hours for some reason. But if I'm like at the gym or walking, they'll last. So I literally don't understand.
Maybe like the computer or something.
Yeah, it's weird, but these things get the job done.
Yeah, you blink and the Knicks, I don't know, they scored a lot of points in not a lot of time, which we don't like that.
Yeah.
The tough part about being a hater is that you're going to catch a lot of L's because if you hate everybody, somebody has to win. That's just kind of how the game works. So that's how I feel about this game. But also being a hater, someone's always going to lose.
See, I'm using this as an opportunity to scout, see who do I hate the most as the result of this. I think the Knicks hatred is going to take priority just because, when Toronto won in 2019, I was happy for them. I was. I can't say that there's many scenarios where I think I'd be happy for New York.
The Warriors.
I know. So that's like maybe if New York, let's say Boston. No, I don't even. Let's say it's weird because of the standings, but let's say like a different team eliminates the Cavs this year, and then New York beats Golden State in the finals.
No one's eliminating the Cavs this year. Come on.
I hope not. But I'm just trying to think of what scenario would I actually be rooting for New York. If it's New York Warriors, probably not. I'm probably not rooting for either team in that scenario. Oh, LeBronto. See, that's just dishonest editing. Show the one time where they got a stop on LeBron.
Well, yeah, that
was a cool montage, though. Oh, okay. Honoring OG. I will say, this is a perfect time because I knew I was going to say this entering tonight's game. I have to apologize to OG Anunoby because earlier this year I said that he was a borderline fake 3-and-D guy. I was wrong. He's very legit on offense. I thought he wasn't as legit as he is on offense. He's the real deal. The dude can score the ball.
He is actually good.
I do owe him an apology. To be fair, I said borderline fake, but no, he's very, very good.
Bridges, you wouldn't have to apologize there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I don't think.
I see the beard now. By the way, Dan, the Tibbs beard, there was some hair there.
Well, his beard's much thicker now than it was before. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, let's lock in here and see what we're cooking with.
Thank you.
Go Gadget Arms.
Thank you. He's the shooting has kind of straightened out some, but I think he just gets there's a lot of these guys that just get credit, like they get labeled a good defender, and then it's just kind of assumed that they're a good defender, and it's like, well, is he a good defender? And it's like he hasn't been very good this year. Yeah, he's not a bad defender by any means, but he's not like a top 3 defender. Like, so and so's not getting any shots off because they're being guarded by Bridges, and it's like that's not really happening. So
he definitely built that reputation when he was in Phoenix, and I don't think it's translated yet to anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, other guys who get by on reputation and not being good at defense. Your guy Isaac Okoro. Many are saying this.
This is just blasphemous. Just it's such a lie that it's not even worth addressing.
I wish that if Isaac got steals and blocks like Craig Porter Jr., he'd be like the best defender of all time.
He would get all defensive honors.
Yeah. It's just have to be like to tell people, oh no, Isaac Okoro really is a good defender when he gets like no steals a game and no rebounds and no blocks.
It's always tough trying to like either write about it or if you're when I would try to do like a video or put like a montage for Twitter, it's like, oh, he only really gets tough. Like this many steals and blocks, and it's really hard to find. If you're trying to find a possession where like Isaac Okoro stopped someone from taking a shot, good luck finding that clip because it's not showing up anywhere. It's not being registered.
You have to like take notes in game, like 10:22.
I was gonna say 2 minutes, 30 seconds, second quarter. Find this play. Sometimes it's hard to even realize in the moment. Sometimes you have to go back and watch and be like, oh man, that was like really good off ball. Getting through that screen stops the pass from being made, like stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, one thing just watching the Knicks, their ball movement, they do have really good spacing principles. They do, the offense is very legit. Obviously, you don't get like the best offense in the league without being legit. But the defense is also very legitly bad. So that's something, it's. I don't know what their defensive ceiling is though. So the Mitchell Robinson thing is like, he's going to make him a better defense. He's not like a phenomenal defender. He's a better defender.
Good rim protector, but
yeah, like, he's a fine rim protector.
It's a much worse version of what Minnesota had. And you already saw teams go at the fact that you have 2 slow-footed bigs on the perimeter.
Yeah.
In that Mav series where Luka is obviously a unique player, but kind of just eviscerated them. This is like a worse version because Rudy Gobert, I'm not the biggest Rudy Gobert fan, but he sometimes gets he gets slandered a little bit for his defense on the perimeter. It's better than he gets credit for, I think. But Mitchell Robinson's nowhere near that on the perimeter. Karl Anthony Towns certainly isn't. So if you try to play those 2 bigs together, yes, offensively it works a lot better, but what does it do for your defense? Maybe it ends up being a lot better than we think, but we're gonna have to see some results.
Yeah, one thing is that like the Knicks don't have like great perimeter defenders, but they don't have like awful perimeter defenders. You just have to like get them in a rotation situation. That's like the best way to actually attack their defense, like lots of pick and rolls and things like that. And when you've seen the Raptors actually do that, they get easy shots. And then when they just kind of spread the floor in ISO, it's like, well, I like these guys are good enough to like they're not like terrible in isolation and without ball movement and player movement. So, but also the Raptors do suck, and they're not trying to be good. Yeah. Like they actually do suck.
Yeah, we joke about like New York sucking, but the Raptors are genuinely not a very good team.
No, they're kind of,
but they do have some talent.
Do they?
They do. Scotty Barnes is talented.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes has
some talent. Manuel Quickley's not playing today, but he's got some talent. It's just they're not a very good team.
But when you talk about like RJ Barrett, like how good is RJ Barrett? Like RJ Barrett seems like a fifth starter on a good team. You know, like that's not. You need lots of those guys. You don't need one of those guys. So
yeah, that's why they're not a very good team.
Right, but it's like I don't know if he's like a foundational piece. Like that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like he's kind of just a guy.
Yeah.
So
what's his contract situation? Is he making a lot?
He is making.
Let me try and look this up.
I think he make a decent amount.
Because I mean, they don't have you don't have anything else really right now. So if you just have RJ Barrett as like a quote foundational piece while you attempt to acquire talent, and he's not on like a super crazy contract. Let me see though. He's on 4-year, $107 million. It's not too bad. It's more than he's probably worth, but it's not too bad. And again, like where else are you spending that money at this stage? I think if you look at this team, and he's only 24, but if you look at this team 4 years from now, and they manage to acquire some talent, and RJ Barrett is your fifth guy, or fourth or fifth guy, you'd look and say that it was good keeping him around. It's a good, legitimate starter in the NBA.
Yeah, and I do agree with you, old kid, that Bridges, he is still really long. He is still really like you would not. Bridges is the type of player that fits on every single team. So you're never going to be mad that your team has Mikal Bridges. I think like the criticism for Bridges comes because of like what the Knicks gave up for him. So like that spotlight that is on him because it's like, hey, this was like a superstar package. You have to be like a superstar player. Like if they gave up a OG Anunoby package for him, which is, a hefty price, but I think a fair price for that type of player, that I think we would talk about Bridges a lot differently. So I think that's where it kind of comes from, where like what he was traded for kind of informs your perception of him. Now the Raptors are exploiting the olds.
The Cavs do that too.
Yeah, I am over the golden oldies. The first season,
the whining goldies,
whining goldies. No, I don't even know. Golden oldies. I think.
Okay, that might be it.
Yeah, I was so in on them like the first season, 100% in. Then like the second season, I was like, this isn't as cool. And now I'm just like, no, thank you. It should be the Pogoliers every single time. They should just be doing flips every time out.
Yeah. Which player is the highest win percentage in Knicks franchise history?
Has to be somebody from a long time ago.
Yeah. Phil Jackson, Walt Frazier, maybe. Yeah, I think it's probably. I would guess Walt, but he did play a lot of. I feel like he played a long time there, right? So they could have had some bad seasons.
I mean, probably, maybe.
Could it be one of the Patrick Ewing?
Yeah, I was about to say because they won a bunch of games, and he wasn't on the team when the team kind of like got old. Correct? Listen, Knicks trivia is not something that I'm ever going to get right. So
it's Jeremy Lin. He didn't play 100 games, but could it be Carmelo? No, it can't be Carmelo. What was that win percentage at? I was just thinking Carmelo because he joined when they were already like an established team and they won a lot of games and he wasn't there that long.
I mean, they won 48 games a year.
Yeah, it's not high enough.
Yeah, no. Tony called them the whining oldies. Tony, that is disrespectful. That is a step too far.
Why is that disrespectful?
The whining oldies?
Oh, no, the wine and goldies. I didn't read that. The wine and goldies. That's what I thought, but I don't think that's what it's called.
Golden. Now I'm.
Let's see if what shows up. I don't know if it'll even. Are they on Google? Let's find out. Ooh, nice pass.
Nice cut. I mean, that's kind of what you get with Karl Anthony Towns. He's a good playmaker from that position.
They are the wine and goldies. Tony knows ball. The Wine and Goldies are a group of local seniors that still have the moves.
I don't need you to read the Google.
I was just going to read that. That's all. Just the opening line.
I
know ball. I know my Goldies. I know the grannies. Come on, man. I'm a longtime fan of the Wine and Goldies.
I clipped that.
Go ahead, let them know. As many
you can let them know.
We'll say.
Yeah, Dan. Yeah, I don't know where to go with that one.
It's still 75-3 on the YouTube scoreboard. I don't think that's ever going to change.
Guys,
so.
if you are watching on YouTube, head over to playback.tv/fearthesword.
Yeah.
You can watch the game with us.
Ooh. Airball, maybe? No, it must have the shot clock reset.
Good pass.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. They're in a groove now.
I mean, the Knicks have really good spacing principles. They have one thing that they do have, kind of like the Knicks, like everybody can kind of put the ball on the floor.
Celtics, you mean?
Sorry. Yeah, like the Celtics, everybody can put the ball on the floor. And like even if they aren't like A+ creators, when you have that much spacing, that good of principles, everyone can kind of like make a play. And I think that is something that they successfully did recreate. And I mean, that's as evidenced by their offense. Like their offense is phenomenal. So
yeah. Josh Hart twisted his ankle. That means he'll only play 45 minutes instead of 48 tonight. OG having a big quarter here.
He's
got the last 7 points, I think, off my count, or at least 7 points in the last couple minutes.
That's always dangerous.
The 2 dunks and the 3.
It's always dangerous when you try to like recite stats.
Yeah. But he's got 7 points in the last couple minutes. That's all I know.
He's been getting buckets. You can say that.
Wow. Hate to see Olynyk get a stop.
Still wouldn't mind the Cavs getting Olynyk, honestly.
Some things just can't happen. Some things just aren't allowed.
The camera's working. I have the right computer today.
I will never root for Kelly Olynyk.
I didn't say I was rooting for him. I'm just saying I think he'd be a good fit for the Cavs.
You'd have to root for him in some way in that case.
I mean, I don't have to. Watch me. I mean, there's like half the Cavs I don't like root for. Do you think I've ever rooted for Isaac Okoro?
I think so. at least one time
Yeah.
in Brooklyn. Can't tell me it didn't get you out of your seat, the game winner.
I think I was already out of my seat.
Okay, well, there you go.
What happened that possession? It was like missed free throw.
Mitchell misses the free throw. The ball gets like bounced around. Karis LeVert gets it.
Dribbles for 10
Pass to
seconds.
the corner. There was nothing, no other option. Passes it to the corner, and Okoro just buries it for the win. I have it burned into my memory.
Yeah, you had that good
That was a good pull, right?
Yeah, you put the video together. With that one TikTok of the guy singing Creed.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, that's one of my best creations. The
Yeah.
"Can You Take Me Higher" guy.
Yeah,
with the Okoro. That was great.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought you were talking about a few days ago. I posted on the Fear the Sword Twitter account too, because someone asked, "What's the most clutch assist in NBA history?" And I posted LeVert to Okoro against.
I mean, I can't imagine that there's a more. There's
not many more. Yeah, there's not many more that really contend. It's like Chris Bosh to Ray Allen,
Kevin Love to LeBron, a full court.
Nah, LeVert's was better,
I mean, if you're talking about like the best pass and like
a degree of difficulty, to win the game, not just to tie it.
If we're talking about a degree of difficulty, it would definitely be Kevin Love and LeBron's, because that was, the shot was a 10 out of 10 hard. The pass was like a 12 out of 10.
True, but you have to consider Karis LeVert breaking down his man, finding that no one on Brooklyn is defending Isaac Okoro, maybe by design. And
Dan, when's the last time you've seen somebody execute a play like that in like 1 second? And then tell me how often you've seen somebody make a simple pass to Ray Allen in the corner. Like, Ray Allen's been assisted 9 million.
If it was that easy, if it was that easy, Okoro would average like 10 threes a game, So clearly,
it's tough to get him the ball. That's an Okoro problem. It's not a getting him the ball problem.
Have we considered the other end of this? The other end of the equation here? Maybe it's not. Maybe the Cavs aren't getting him the ball.
Dan, you know that we can ban you, right? Or at least I can ban you. So this is our first big disagreement. Listen, just saying,
All right, Toronto rallied back very quickly. It felt like it was going to get out of hand. Knicks were up by 10, down to 4, just like that.
Well, that's what happens when you have a bad defense. But when you have a good offense, it doesn't.
In and out. Yeah, I typically feel like it's almost better to be with the team that's really good on offense but has some issues on defense, rather than the team that's really good on defense but has issues on offense. If that made any sense.
Yeah, because you've mostly watched the Cavs win with terrible defenses, and you've seen the Cavs lose with terrible offenses.
Yeah.
So
the thing is,
comes down to.
We've talked about this before, but a lot of defense, not all of it, but a lot of defense does come down to effort. And I think it's a little easier to lock in and give more effort on defense than it is to be like, okay, I'm scoring 30 tonight. It's a lot harder to turn it on offensively than it is to turn it on defensively.
Well, I think it's also when you talk about high leverage situations, good offense always beats good defense.
Yeah.
So that's something too.
It's like both teams are going to score a lot no matter how good of defense you play. But if we have a really, really good offense, it could kind of counteract that.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. It's a shootout now. Yeah, I think the Cavs probably go the same route against New York. Definitely looked, we've seen this throughout the year. Kenny has talked about it, but I think they'll be comfortable just allowing Garland in moments, if he switches on to Brunson, just to guard him one-on-one rather than panic and blitz or send Allen up to the free throw line or just all these weird things. I think they'll feel a little more comfortable just letting Garland play defense, but they'll if Max Strus is back, he's going to be the starter. He'll probably draw the Brunson matchup. And I would trust that.
Yeah. I mean, They may just actually just do straight up with Garland, maybe. I don't know.
They might try it. I wouldn't, especially in the regular season.
Yeah. They did that with Garland. I remember game 5. They came out with Garland on Brunson, and that didn't really work. But they were already dead at that point.
Different Garland back then, too, I would say. And also, as we've talked about a billion times, defense wasn't, there was plenty of issues with the defense against New York. But if they could have, at least in my opinion, if they could have just scored at a decent rate, series looks way different. I think the offense being utterly embarrassing was the bigger problem. As much as the rebounding and all that was an issue, the offense was just pitiful, man.
I don't like putting a big on Josh Hart because Hart gets so many of his rebounds by running around guys, and seems like sometimes a big, you're gonna want to help off of him, and really that's how he gets his offensive rebounds. That's how he changes games that way. So I'd rather just play him straight up like he's a normal person and just box out, as opposed to let's super help off of him. You could super help off of Isaac Okoro because he doesn't crash the offensive glass. Hart, I mean, one of the best rebounders in basketball. He just has a really good nose for the ball. So, and if you give him a little bit of daylight, he's going to find it.
Yeah, I will say, I bet, because the Cavs, they're going to play the Knicks 3 more times, right? I know sometimes the schedule is weird, but it's usually you play your conference rivals 4 times. We'll see, though. I know the schedule gets a little weird sometimes.
Well, the point is, we're going to see them. Cup messed it up.
The NBA Cup messed it up. The point is, we're going to see them at least 2 more times, I'm pretty sure. At least 2 more times. And Kenny Atkinson has showed that he's willing to adjust and try and figure stuff out in the regular season. We're going to 3 more times. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try it.
The problem is they've played the 21st of February and then twice.
It's the end of the year.
Twice in April. So it's those April games are stupid.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen. Ideally, you would think the Cavs, with how much separation the Cavs and Celtics are making, you would think that those games might not be super meaningful, but you really never know. April games are so weird. They're either the most important game ever or who cares?
Meaningless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the schedule came out. I know we play the Knicks twice, and I think we also play Indiana twice. And so back in September when that schedule came out, I was looking at that and thinking, wow, April might actually be pretty big for how the standings shake out. Obviously, the Cavs have put some distance between themselves, especially between them and the Pacers. But the Knicks, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could make a run and make those games somewhat interesting. But yeah. So the Raptors storm back to take the lead here.
No, they would have a bigger lead if Grady Dick wasn't just throwing some absolute bricks out there.
They completed a 70-point comeback all in the first half. It's pretty crazy.
Dick the brick.
Oh, wow, shaking the whole foundations here.
Yeah, I mean it's fair to wonder. I think that you talking about who Allen and Mobley takes in a closing lineup. It's also at the same time you're also going to have to wonder who from the Knicks guards the Cavs, and ideally you'd like Allen and Mobley playing in a way that you can't hide somebody small on them. So they would be the team that feels the need to go with an additional big, kind of get them out of their comfort zone. So a lot of times playoff series and stuff come down to who can get the other team out of their comfort zone. So, can the Cavs do that to the Knicks? That's what you'd like to see. It's what you would want to see the Cavs do to the Celtics, get the Celtics out of their comfort zone. Haven't been able to do that with Allen and Mobley together in the 2 matchups that you've seen. But, hopefully hopefully Allen kind of comes together. Yeah, I'm not confident Jarrett can do that either. Neither is Corey. So head to fearthesword.com tomorrow morning to read Corey's thoughts on that. He had a pretty good article about that coming out tomorrow. But yeah, that's kind of the big question, isn't it?
I'd imagine New York will probably assume it. Like, let's say it's just Karl Anthony Towns out there. I assume they have OG Anunoby guarding either Allen or Mobley, because I think Anunoby is the one guy you can hold up against a bigger opponent. I think Mobley probably eats up Mikal Bridges, so they probably don't do that. But Anunoby has a better chance, and then you have Towns on Allen. If it's the two bigs out there, interested what they'll do. If it's Robinson, and that would be weird. Robinson and Towns versus Jarrett and Evan, the four bigs on the court, that would be interesting. I don't know if we'll see that, but yeah. If it's Mobley on Bridges, I feel pretty good. If it's Mobley on Towns, I feel pretty good. So the real question is, how does Anunoby change the series? And does Mitchell Robinson, is he able to replicate what he did to any degree from 2021 or 2022? So. I mean,
so much of like Josh Hart, it's hard to contain Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson, most of those, and we talked about it a billion times. So if you are really bored and you want our thoughts on that, check out the back episodes of the Junkyard Pod.
Click on any episode.
But like a lot of the problems,
it comes up every time.
A lot of the problems. See, look, he's growing it out a little bit. I see you, Thibs. One of the things is that like a lot of those Mitchell Robinson ones were like they had Jared Allen step up or Evan Mobley step up to like the top of the restricted area, you know, every time Brunson took a dribble inside the 3-point line. And as you know, Brunson doesn't get to the rim ever. He takes those shots in like the half circle. And every time Allen stepped up, Mitch Robinson would just slide underneath, miss shot, rebound. And it's just like, it just happened so many times on repeat. It was beyond frustrating. So I think that if you play defense like you normally do, that doesn't happen. So that's where it was like, I know the offense was really bad in the playoffs, and it's like, well, if this Cavs scored 100 points, they would have won, 3 of the 5 games that series or whatever. But it's also like the offense sucked, and you knew the offense sucked. You had to like rely on your strength, and the Cavs' strength, I felt like, let them down because it's so demoralizing when you get a stop, don't get the rebound, get a stop, don't get a rebound, get a stop. Now they hit a 3. It's just like, you just feel like, it just feels so much more after that happens.
In and out.
I think Dick might suck, by the way.
I really don't have much of an opinion of him. I haven't watched enough of him. I know people were really high on him. Bridges was a 3. I personally feel like I've never watched him play a good game, but I know that people are high on him. So I think it's just a sample bias of I don't watch that many Raptors games. So I feel like he's never really looked that good to me. But he has a good looking jump shot. So I believe people who are high on him. I just would like to, get lucky enough to see one of those games.
Well, you may have to watch a lot of games.
He just got a good jump shot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wing with a good looking jump shot. Talk yourself into that any day.
I mean, he's averaging 18 points on 14 shots. It's not exactly like.
I think maybe I'm wrong. I think he started the year shooting much better. So that's when I heard people were getting excited. Haven't heard so much recently.
It shouldn't impress people. Dan, that's what we're getting at. That was a really good cut. Good pass. All right. Mr. Dick is finishing 49% of his shots at the rim, 7th percentile. He is knocking down 48% of his mid-range shots, which is in the 48th percentile, which is in the 83rd percentile. So that's pretty good. 31% from corner threes, which is awful.
Not good.
30th percentile. And then above the break, he's shooting 37%, which is the 65th percentile.
Look, he's no PP. All right. We talk about points per shot attempt. PP, Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, gotcha.
He can't get it done like PP can. But Dick's got a lot of potential still.
And he doesn't. He has a high usage. He doesn't get assists. He turns it over a lot. He does get to the free throw line a decent amount. Actually, doesn't finish any and ones. And most all of his shots are like assisted. So,
yeah. The only thing I'll say,
87% of his shots are assisted. That's like Dean Wade territory.
Yeah.
Like you're not creating your own shots at all. It's tough to have that high of a usage and you're never like you're never creating your own shot.
On your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not like he's knocking him down. So he may suck.
I honestly, if you asked me how many games did he play last season, like guess how many have you seen? How many games do you think he played last year?
Who?
Grady Dick.
Last year, I have no idea.
His rookie year, I would have assumed he didn't play that many. I thought maybe he was injured or something.
Like 50?
Played 60.
Okay.
And I feel like I didn't hear anything about him ever.
I mean, last year he had the black dick thing. That was last
I saw
year.
That
I know he played one game.
Funny. But still, he really just, he only averaged 8 points. He really was buried there, at least from my own view. And then this year, he's averaging 18. So you've seen a big leap there. Obviously, a big leap in usage. The one thing I'll say in his credit is that he is 21 years old and he's playing on a bad team. So a lot of those stats might look like his efficiency and stuff that could come with age. He could end up getting there. He's clearly got good touch on the jumper.
It's tough though when you're mostly not creating your own shots. The context shouldn't really matter a whole lot.
Well, I'm saying if they had a better team around him, then he doesn't have to create for himself.
Well, he's not creating for himself. That's the whole thing.
But he's trying to. He's trying to. That's why the percentages are probably
it's like 88% of his made baskets are like assisted. That's insane.
And that's probably
he's not creating for himself.
But that's the point, is that he's being asked to create for himself and he's shooting horrible from the floor. But when other people are setting him up, that's where his points are coming from. So he's on a better team. He doesn't have to have a super high usage. He'd probably look better.
Hit it,
Dick. He almost created that. But yeah, when you have a 21-year-old who's being asked to do a lot and he's not very good at creating for himself yet, it's going to look worse than it probably will 4 years from now when he's improved as a player and hopefully the Raptors have more talent around him so that he's not playing at a crazy usage rate and not getting anything out of it.
What I'm saying is if you're not creating your own shots, then your context is less dependent because he's getting he hasn't forced any shots today. Like they've all been within the flow of the offense, catch and shoot stuff. He's just kind of missing them and that's what's kind of concerning.
Yeah.
There are no other.
Unfortunately, I was just gonna say that there's no other games, so we can't switch off. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take a quick break.
Okay, don't worry. I can. Tony, you can turn your camera off so we don't have to stare at the wall.
Are you sure? You don't want? You want to see my chair? Okay.
I mean, Dan said he liked the chair. I missed the wall. I'm sorry, Dan. I was just trying to. I think it's more professional if he's muted. Turns the camera off. It looks like we know what we're doing as opposed to, someone dropping by and you're like, why is the guy with all the toys in the background talking to an empty chair? That's kind of weird. As if that I'm not weird anyways, but this game it's a game. We can say that. It's a better game than I thought it would be. But usually bad teams can keep it close for 24 minutes. Keeping it close for 48 minutes is another thing. But we've seen the Raptors put some good games together. They gave the Celtics some trouble. Celtics are a team built kind of like the Knicks are. Choose your top league pass rankings if you aren't watching the Cavs. That's a good question. I mean, I like watching the Lakers just because LeBron. Yeah, Dan, we're on the same page there. It is always something with them. They're definitely I think a team that I definitely like watching. And then, sorry, I was looking at my phone. Yeah, Mavs are a good team. I like watching the Nuggets. The Nuggets kind of have that vibe of like the 2018 LeBron team. I get that vibe from them, Cavs team. So I just enjoy watching that. A lot of West Coast teams. I like watching the Suns because Tony. We have this thing where Tony said that the Suns were like could go to the finals, were a contender, and I said that they suck. So I'm enjoying every one of their losses. We had a bet on it, but I forget what the bet was, or if we ever really finalized it. Corey was in it too. He was on Tony's side. He just willingly jumped on that hill for no reason. I do actually enjoy watching the Magic play as well. If you might have seen some of these, anytime we're doing these streams, I like watching the Magic, just because I think their defense is really unique. I think the way they, their brand of basketball, I think is unique, and they have like just so much length at every position. I do like watching the Bucks as well, just because Giannis is playing so good, and they're kind of a train wreck. Most of the teams I like watching are train wrecks. And then last year, I was really got into Oklahoma City when they had Chet. Thought that was really cool. This year, I'm not as into them. That has something to do with Chet not being there. So yeah, those would probably be my top teams. Knicks and Raptors not on the top of the teams. I can tell you what my opposite league pass rankings, like Celtics are number 1 on my opposite league pass rankings. Knicks are like number 2. So yeah, that's what I would say. But yeah, I think the Mavs are also my favorite team, besides the Lakers, obviously, that I see coming through Cleveland. I just love watching Luka when he's in Cleveland, just because he has so much, like, when Luka's engaged, he's really like fun to watch, and he always brings it against the Cavs. Half the stadium is cheering for him because of the large Slovenian population. Yeah, Slovenian population. So that's always really fun to watch. Yeah, Sacramento's fun. Yeah, Sacramento's a decent team to watch. They have a really good like broadcast team, which is always exciting. Teams that I hate watching, the Sixers. I absolutely hate watching the Sixers. I probably hate watching the Sixers more than I hate watching any of these other teams, honestly. My biggest thing with the Sixers is every time they play at home, every time there's like a defensive possession, they have this like Oregon playing. And it's really annoying. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tony? Can't hear you, Tony.
Sorry, I unmuted my mic on the MacBook. I did not unmute my physical mic, so happens to the best of us. But yes, I do. I believe I know what you're talking about.
Oregon.
It's
just like it's just constant, and I just hate it so much. So I can't watch them. Their announcers are terrible.
Their broadcast, I was gonna say, their broadcast sucks for many reasons.
And
it's okay if you're biased as a broadcaster, but complaining, that's where I get annoyed. If you're biased, that's fine, but don't complain and like bemoan and disparage the opposing players because you're upset that they're beating your team. Like, it's really cool. Sorry, not to interrupt you, but like, it's cool when the opposing players having a really good game against your team. That was awesome.
We watched that.
The
We watched.
announcers are like into it, even
even
though they don't want to be torched.
I was gonna say, we watched this yesterday on playback. That dunk live. Me and Dan
no
were
way.
hyped. Yeah, we flipped
That's
over
awesome.
right in time.
I saw the highlight only.
Yeah,
that was an awesome play.
I think I was
more exciting than anything else that happened.
I was complaining about something, and it got me to actually like stop complaining. Which that means it was it was actually sick. But yeah, the six. I do. Sorry, I wanted to give a shout out to
the play was
the
on
real
the screen,
ones.
yeah.
But yeah, everything that you said was right about the They're just a terrible watch. Embiid's terrible.
If an opposing team is going off, they're just hating the whole time. It's like, that guy's not that good. It's like, come on. Can we not be the worst? There's other broadcasts too that are like that, but
we watched this live on playback too.
This was awesome. The King, LeGoat James.
If you
don't remember how that game ended though.
I don't know.
It was weird. We ended the stream like kind of early.
If you watch us on playback, you're going to catch a lot of good basketball. We're always there. Did the feed cut out after the block? I think the feed cut out on like the Lakers defense because they just lost Trae Young. So
they were buffering.
Oh, everybody in the chat wants to know why you think the Suns are going to be good and if you've apologized for that take.
Okay, you know what? Since you're giving me the floor, let me cook. Here's the thing. The day is like October 27th, okay? And Jackson asked us, who do we think are the contenders in the NBA? And I listed a couple teams, and I said, and so far, the Suns. And he said, no, that's crazy. And I said, listen, they started off really good, and if they're healthy, Jackson, they could be a contender. Well, guess what? They haven't been healthy.
That's the thing.
Okay. That's okay. I didn't say they would be healthy. I just said if they stay healthy. So I rest my case. I gave myself insurance, and you cannot deny this claim.
Yeah, you said if they were healthy, but
don't deny this claim, Jackson.
The whole thing was you can't ever say that they're healthy. Oh, that was sick.
Listen, yeah, I know you could have seen it coming, and that's fair. That's valid. That's completely fair.
Yeah.
I just said if they stay healthy, you never know. When they're healthy, they're really, really good. I will say though, to answer your question, they've been inexcusably bad without Kevin Durant. They're 1-9 without Kevin Durant. They have no excuse to be that bad without him. Devin Booker can get you more than one win out of 9 attempts. Although I think he missed a couple of those games too, but still.
Devin Booker scored like 70-ish points or whatever, and they lost by like 20.
Okay,
in a game. So that's
literally
who the Suns are. Like that's what they do.
Literally before COVID, man.
The only time Devin Booker, that was 2017. The only time Devin Booker really led a team.
I was still in high school.
You may still be in high school. We haven't confirmed that. One of the things that like Devin Booker, he's a good player. He's a ceiling raiser. He's not a floor raiser. The best Suns team with Chris Paul, that's a floor raiser. So just saying that,
I think you're being a little harsh on Devin. I think he's proven to be a winning player.
So you have Devin Booker, you have the worst center rotation in the league.
Well,
you have Bradley Beal.
Not his fault. It's not his fault that they traded for Bradley Beal. Even with me being high on the Suns, Bradley Beal, what the hell were they doing? Why would you get Bradley Beal? I'm sorry. That's not even disrespect to Bradley Beal. He doesn't even fit on the team. Not to mention he's really not that good of a player, but he doesn't fit on your team at all. Doesn't fit.
Yeah, I think we talked about this the other day, Dan, where he said like it's hard to, the second worst center rotation in the league is the one that's playing DeAndre Ayton, and the only one that's worse is the one that traded Ayton away. So like that's tough. But yeah, I don't like.
Give Isaiah Mobley a call, man. Shit.
Give Isaiah Mobley a call. Give Pete Nance a call. You don't have to give Pete Nance a call. Well, you can't because he's on the Sixers now, so you missed your window.
Yeah, you have to wait. Like 5 more days.
Yeah. But yeah, this was, Thank you, chat, for roasting Tony. I appreciate it.
Hey man, it's okay. The first week of the season, sometimes you get things wrong. It's all right.
Yeah, and they were like 7-2, and they had like a net rating of like +1 or something like that. Like they were
KD
playing
was
like out of their mind in the clutch.
Yeah, KD was unbelievable in the clutch. But they beat a couple good teams throughout that stretch that made it seem legit.
What was it
it wasn't like they were just
when they were falling apart.
They beat the Clippers, they beat the Nuggets, they beat the Lakers. I think the Clippers they're good. They're not great, but they're good. They're like
that was team. LeBron was like deathly ill.
Yeah,
and like played the worst game of his career. The Lakers were never good. I'm sorry, Dan. I know that you're a Lakers guy, but they were never good.
They're okay. They're okay. See, this is I just have different tiers because Jackson goes from really good teams to suck. Like there's no.
I'm sorry that I have standards.
I have like. There's like the Cavs. There's
everyone's a title contender. You're a title contender.
No.
You're a title.
There's the title contenders. There's the teams that aren't really title contenders, but they're kind of on the bubble. There's the really good teams. There's the bad teams, and then there's like the Washington Wizards. The Lakers are a good team. They're not a bad team. They're not the Wizards. They're a good team, but they're not.
Okay, so
Phoenix is like on the bubble of being a contender to me, and then there's like all the contenders. Jackson has gotten rid of the middle class.
Listen, I think that as we see in America, the middle class is a lot closer to the poorest people as opposed to like the richest people, which I think is some of the problem. So if we're working under that, framework, then yes, the middle class of the NBA does suck because they're a lot closer to the Wizards than they are, say, the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Boston Celtics. So that's
okay. So on that criteria,
good point, Dan. I appreciate you.
Are the Lakers closer to the Wizards or the Cavs? I think they're closer to the Cavs. The Wizards are really bad. Dude, the Wizards are awful.
The Wizards, listen, like if Anthony Davis, if he sprains his ankle, you're not going to see a difference between the Wizards and the Lakers. So
I don't agree with this, but
I mean,
it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I don't agree with that.
You're not going to see it. Okay, you will see a difference between the Lakers and the Wizards. I will say that. However, they're pretty bad. Like they'd be a bad team. Maybe it's tough. Like the Wizards are like the Wizards are like
to give them some. You can't just take Anthony Davis out the equation. You have to give them.
You can because he is going to take himself out of the equation at some point.
Sometimes, yeah, but when we're like all of this is based on the expectation that they have some sort of health luck that Anthony Davis is out there. The Lakers are 13-11. The Wizards are 3-19. So they are literally closer to the Cavs by standings for doing it that way. But listen,
I don't know.
The Lakers I think the Lakers will be a play-in team. They could outright be a playoff team. We'll see. And like if it's Lakers versus Clippers in the 4-5, they could be a second round team. So I think they're a good team. They're not great and they're not a title contender, but they're good. They got a lot of issues though. They have many issues with their roster. But let's see, the Knicks looking like frauds right now. Down by 1 to the Toronto Raptors.
Well, they may suck.
Yeah, and Dan, that's the problem is you probably shouldn't have everything coming down to your 39-year-old. He'll be 40 by then. Would you rather take Jonas or Kuzma? Kuzma, just off the fact that like I can't really see. I mean, the Cavs could use a backup big, but I don't really need
like
Jonas.
4 or 5.
Yeah, Kuzma apparently Kuzma's been having a really rough year. He's shooting like career worst from everywhere. Like, then he also comes with a bigger contract. I'm not sure how bought in he is, but Kuzma's just the better player, so I would rather have Kuzma. Again, it comes down to. I've said this a few times on these streams. If you're telling me I can add Kuzma to this team in a vacuum for nothing, sign me up. If I have to start giving stuff up, which is how it would work, then I don't really know. I have to see a deal that's really fair, and I don't know if a fair deal's out there.
I don't think that. I don't know. Like at this point, I'm not sure what Kuzma's actually getting you. The trade market's in a really weird place right now. So
yeah,
I don't know if you're getting him a whole lot more than like matching salaries, but Kuzma's a tough guy to kind of fit in to your system. Not a good 3-point shooter. Even though I think he kind of get the reputation because he had that really good bubble playoffs.
Too, yeah.
But
it's falling off.
Yeah. And then he's like a ball stopper, and I know he's on a bad team, but it's like, I don't think he's going to come in and like just buy into Kenny's system right away. Or even if he does, he's not really a great fit. So I don't see him as being particularly useful. He's not a 4 or 5. He is somebody who can play the 4, so that would be useful. But it's if for example Allen gets hurt or Mobley gets hurt in the playoffs, what are you going to do? Like start Wade and put Kuzma out? Probably start Kuzma and put. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
Taking a dip into the jacuzzi.
Like, would you play Wade Kuzma lineups in the playoffs?
Hell yeah.
But would you actually?
Now we're talking.
I guess, but that's tough. So I don't know.
No, that would be brutal.
Like, or would you rather play Wade Valanciunas lineups?
And listen, Wade's not going to be on the floor in the playoffs because he's going to be nursing an ankle injury.
Don't say that. Stop.
So in that case, Kuzma would be helpful.
Stop.
I think that's probably the argument is that Kuzma. One thing you can't say about him is that he lacks confidence, and two, he's usually pretty available. He hasn't been very good. Yeah, worse. Wow. Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma sucks. He shooting like 20-something% from 3.
Yeah, he's been very bad. But who knows? He could turn it around if he gets it. The thing is, I don't think he wants to go to a different team. I think he's pretty comfortable where he is. But the context of his situation could change, but I don't think he cares enough. He got his ring. He's got his money. He's in, pretty deep. He's in DC. It's not like he's in Utah or somewhere where he wouldn't want to be.
Listen.
So I think he's comfortable making money.
Listen, DC sucks.
I'm just saying it's not like he's stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Listen, I'd rather be stuck in the middle of nowhere.
I don't think Kuzma would be comfortable playing in like Utah or I don't know. I'm not going to disrespect other cities, but
I will. I've disrespected other countries.
Would Kuzma stay in Toronto? Toronto's pretty popping.
I was going
to say OKC, but they're a really good team.
I do actually like Toronto, even though I don't like the country. So
okay, yeah, Toronto. I don't have any bias against Toronto or Canada for that matter. Well, I know Jackson does.
You should. I would rather be in Toronto than DC.
Okay,
but going like across the border 900 times does get kind of old because that's a lengthy process.
Mm. Yeah, OG Anunoby having a really good game off ball, cutting to the hoop, getting a lot of easy opportunities. When you have all that space around and someone with a good instincts for cutting, you get a lot of easy opportunities, and that's why the Knicks have been such a high-powered offense. Is they really space the floor. It's the same formula as Boston, lesser. Well, it's funny. I say lesser results. Currently, they are quite literally playing better in terms of their offense, but
their
not as talented. Not as talented, but it works.
I mean, I think the offense is better. I think maybe better. I don't want to say fully better.
I mean, because you could probably you could argue Jalen Brunson's better than anyone on Boston. I would take Jason Tatum
from an
personally.
Perspective. I think from if you're just talking about offense,
generating offense, yeah.
I think you have what they have is I think they have a lot better passers and better off-ball movers. Like I don't know if Drew Holiday's a great off-ball mover. I wouldn't say he's a great passer. Like Derek White is a very good player for their system, but like is he a great off-ball mover? He's more of like a spacer.
He's
I don't know
pretty
if he's
good.
a great passer.
I think the fact that the Knicks have someone like Jalen Brunson, who's just this unbelievable superstar talent for generating offense all on his own. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both very, very all NBA caliber players in that regard. But Jalen Brunson is just this entire nucleus where every single night he's doing it all. And Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they kind of trade off. Sometimes it's Jalen's night, sometimes it's Jason's. I think that leads to the rest of the off-ball stuff being a little weirder for them.
Neither one of them are really good passers either. They make the easy passes pretty well, but they're not setting guys up. Like, you also have Cat is an underrated passer. Josh Hart's not a bad passer. You have, Anunoby. So I think that they just have a lot more like options, kind of. Like, there's just different ways I think that offense can beat you. Yeah, I mean, Boston's spacing principles are elite. They know what they're doing on offense. So just kind of saying, like, if we're separating the two best offenses, I like a lot of what the Knicks are bringing. You can see why their offense is so successful just by watching them play. And you can also see why their defense is kind of like not successful. And I don't know how that changes. I don't know how that changes because, like, if you throw Mitchell Robinson in there, I think that kind of really hurts what they do on offense.
Definitely. Completely changes it.
And isn't worth the trade-off for the defense.
Yeah, how much better does it make you defensively? It probably makes you better, but how much?
Yeah.
All right, Raptors really gaining momentum here. It's a pull-up three from Scotty. Don't love it. Don't love it considering you have momentum. You're really kind of taking it to them in the paint. Bailed them out a little bit there. Oh, someone got hurt. Oh, Scotty. Does not look good. His reaction would suggest that is not good. Assuming that he twisted it. Towns also maybe hurt.
Towns has really bad body control whenever he's like attacking the basket off the dribble. So, not 100% surprised that there was a really awkward collision there.
Ooh, looks like he's in pain even just when they touch it. I mean, this was couldn't see the ankle there really.
Yeah, hopefully I believe okay.
I believe Towns was questionable with the knee injury already, so he maybe tweaked it a little bit, but definitely looks like Barnes just rolled his ankle pretty bad.
Hopefully everyone's okay. This game would be a lot less interesting if Scotty Barnes wasn't playing. See a lot more of your favorite player.
Get ready to learn Grady Dick or RJ Barrett. I don't even know who else
looks like he's up. But he's being helped off.
Yeah, it doesn't look very promising.
Cavs Summer League legend. Ochai Agbaji.
Yeah. Did he even play well in Summer League?
Yeah, he had one game where he hit 4 threes. Tony, are you a real blogger?
Yeah. It's been a couple years, man.
People were so
I just needed a refresher. I was pretty high on him.
He's what they needed.
He kind of theoretically he was. I'll take Donovan Mitchell any day though.
Really? That's a bold move. That's pretty bold of you to say that.
Yeah. I'm just saying. No.
Yeah.
Larry Markkinen not having a great year either. The Cavs trade's looking better and better by the day, man.
I haven't seen, like, I watched so many Jazz games last year because they were a fun team to watch. I don't think I've seen like a single Jazz game this year. How bad is Lowry?
I haven't. I'll be honest again. I'm not like locked in. I've
just
heard that he's
lying.
not playing good, and I looked at his stats, and they are very down from the last few years.
Is he just not hitting threes?
Let's
I
pull it
shouldn't
up.
be
Let's do
asking
some
you.
live research here.
Dan, what's the I'm like the teacher calling on the smart
He's just
student.
not like
Dan,
okay. So the year that he
what are
had
you
the
seeing from
breakout, he
Lowry?
became like this offensive hub almost, where they were just dumping the ball and he was scoring in bunches. This year, the stats are loading. So that breakout year, he averages 25, basically 26. Last season, he averages 23. This year, he's averaging just 18, and he's shooting 4% worse from the floor, about 3% worse from the three-point line, just worse from every spot, averaging fewer points, fewer rebounds, more assists, actually. Just not really replicating that offense.
It's
only 18 games.
He's only finishing 59% of his shots at the rim. That's Grady Dick
down
territory.
year. And when you consider that even at his peak, he was still being outplayed by Donovan Mitchell, and then you look at the steady regression, again, that Cavs trade just looks better and better.
I don't know what Utah's doing.
Yeah, well, not sure either.
I feel like they should have just taken whatever the Warriors were giving them.
Yeah, sell high on him. Because he was already, he's 27 now.
Neither do they. So true.
Yeah. Let's try and lock in on this game. Let's see what the Knicks are doing here. I feel like we talk about everything except. Well, yeah, but I feel like we talk about everything except the things that are happening on the court sometimes. So let's try and lock in on the play-by-play. Yeah, O'Shea was pretty good, huh?
Tony, please lock in on the play-by-play.
Okay, we got Davion Mitchell. Really passing the Donovan Mitchell lookalike. That was a good backdoor. No. All right. Knicks got ultimate spacing here. Just a simple pick and roll.
That's
Burns past everyone. Oh, and he hurts himself.
Again?
Jeez. Tibbs is like, you're okay.
I still see you putting
one foot in front of the other. So he must be good enough to play. Tibbs is insane.
He is insane.
And Carl's too, he wants to fit in. He's not going to come out. He's praying that Tibbs will take him out right now. He's like, please, I'm limping. Someone notice. Someone from the bench tell him to take me out. But he's not going to ask for it because his pride.
He literally has a jar of dirt.
Yeah.
Next to him. That's a good one. Yeah, he doesn't want soft blog boys like you calling him soft. So
I wouldn't personally, but yeah. Still moving a little gingerly. Looked like he was starting to walk it off, though.
He just hurt his ankle like 2 seconds before then.
Nope. That's the worst, man. I've seen too many rolled ankles because this Cavs season. Mobley, Strus, Okoro,
did you see the Strus one?
No, but I heard about it.
Okay. You've
friendly fire from its assistant coach on a shooting drill. See if I can pull up the box scores here.
Oh, we got to 77.
Yeah,
finally
they finally fixed the score on YouTube, but it probably looks the same almost, except Toronto just scored 74 points.
Every member of the Knicks starting five has played over 23 and a half minutes today.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 22 and a half minutes.
Man, they've only played 3 guys off the bench, and Cameron Payne only played 6 minutes.
What are the Fear the Sword timeout dance crew auditions? We put Corey in charge of that, so
yeah.
Reach out to him. He'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
RJ Barrett with 21 points.
Yeah, have you been watching this game, Tony?
I'm not counting every point.
Only counting.
I didn't realize he had 21.
Whose points were you counting? Bridges' points you were counting?
No, Anunoby had 7 points in like a 2-minute stretch. He only has 12 on the game, so we saw like more than half of them right there.
Speaking of Summer League legends, Matt Ryan's on the
yeah, I saw
on
that.
the Knicks bench.
Hasn't played though.
Yeah. So Karl Anthony Towns, 14 points. Jalen Brunson's leading the way with 16 points, 8 assists. OG Anunoby has 12, 7 of which Tony counted. And then Josh Hart has 6 points. And then they got decent production from their bench considering how little they played. 6 points from McBride, 7 points from Precious Achiuwa, and then 5 points from Campaign. And then for the Toronto Raptors, 15 points from Scotty Barnes, but he's likely out for the game. 21 points from RJ Barrett and 3 assists. And then 7 points from Abaji, 6 points from Euclid, and 5 points from Grady Dick on 2 of 8 shooting. But it could just be because of the teammates around him.
Yeah. Jacoby Walter has 14 off the Toronto bench. He's a guy who a lot of Cavs fans were looking at in the draft.
Yes, Corey is working on the choreography right now. We call it the choreography.
Yeah.
So, he's busy. We keep him busy.
By the way, I looked up the trivia because I don't know if they ever gave us the answer or if we're still waiting for it, but I'll just give it to you in case we missed it. Rolando Blackman leads the New York Knicks in win percentage. I know everyone had it right on the tip of your tongue there.
When did he play?
Everyone was thinking Rolando. Well, StatMuse didn't even have a picture of him. It was just a silhouette. So I'm going to assume a long time ago, but I can tell you right now.
Can't trust StatMuse.
StatMuse is a little sketchy.
Just an FYI for the...
He played in the 80s to the 90s.
I always have to double check.
He only played two seasons, 92, 93, 93, 94 with New York. Rolando Blackman. He was a shooting guard. He was on Dallas for a while. Yeah, I recognize him now.
Come on.
Yeah, he was a 3-time All-Star. Okay, I recognize this guy.
You're just saying stuff.
Finished 15th in MVP 1 year.
Oh, wow, that's
86,
great.
87. Grady Dick or Sam Merrill? You said Sam Merrill?
Duh.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'd have to take Grady.
Just so you can use memes? Some NSFW memes. Hear this word after dark. You're a bad guy.
It's been a rough year for Sam, all right? I'm taking the potential.
He was 3 for 6 last game. He canned that garbage time one that counts.
It does. Yeah, he needs everything he can get right now because last time I looked, he's shooting 34% from 3, which is not what you want out of Sam Merrill.
So you know that he's going to shoot like 60% for like January, and then boom, 40%. Hello.
Well, then I'll change my opinion.
Well, you've gotten out of line. I say if you're in line, you should stay in line.
It really is kind of crazy how much Davion Mitchell looks like he's trying to replicate Donovan Mitchell.
It's
with the same number, same build, basically the same name.
I mean, he can't control those last 2 things, but he can control the number. So
yeah. That's some hang time from Hart. I feel like he should have just tried to kiss it off the glass.
Hart's not the most artful.
It's true. I don't think they're related, right? They're not related.
Not that I know of. I feel like that's something you would have heard a lot.
I was going to say, I feel like we would have seen that because they just played each other opening night and they were matched up with each other. There's no way John Michael
played again. They played again.
Yeah, and they played recently too. Yeah. Well, Google.
Don't ask Google.
Google thinks that Donovan Mitchell has a son, and it confused my mom. Because technically, for anyone who doesn't know, Donovan Mitchell, the Cleveland Cavaliers superstar, is technically Donovan Mitchell Jr. So if you type in, does Donovan Mitchell have a son? The Google AI says, yes, Donovan Mitchell has a son. It's Donovan Mitchell Jr. Well, that's because Donovan Mitchell, the Cavs superstar, his father is Donovan Mitchell. So it's thinking that you're asking if his father has a son. It's stupid. Don't trust Google.
Yeah.
My mom was very confused.
Yes.
And I understand because I was confused. His son is the Orlando Magic. Yeah. As far as we know, he does not have a son.
Besides Orlando Magic, he has 12 sons.
Yeah. And Chicago, yeah.
Ooh. Just dribbled into nothing. Don't foul.
Oh, good defense there.
Don't you dare, Kelly. He almost turned it over 4 times.
There's 2 points for Anunoby, add to his total.
Oh, well,
I'll Kelly make sure the box score gets
Kelly
it.
Says, I'm going to do it again. You can't stop me. I mean, that was such bad defense. That was a simple pick and roll, and like one guy just didn't even try to do anything, and the other guy just got like completely blown by. Like,
the jumper looks good to me, by the way. I know that was a concern.
I mean, it can be it definitely was a concern. I don't think it is still a concern.
Not anymore, no. It's back to normal. Like, that was a really quick, I don't even think he dipped right there. It was a no-dip 3.
Bridges just absolutely died on that screen.
Yeah, that's been the issue, is he's not getting over screens like he used to.
I mean, that was like rookie Colin Sexton level of just dying on a screen. Yeah. Like, rookie Colin Sexton would just get like lost. And that also may have to do with playing like 97 minutes a game. That was nice.
Yeah. That was a pretty bold alley-oop, honestly. It was pretty contested.
Yeah.
When the pass was thrown.
I just remember, yes, he's still trying to get around Steven Adams. I just remember like just Russell Westbrook just absolutely destroying him, and like he like rocked the baby like 8 times against him. Like he just kept doing it, and it was like, Russell, we get it. You're a grown man, he's a child. Can you stop doing that? Like, please. Remember Drew Holiday used to just like absolutely like destroy him. Every time Colin Sexton tried to dribble, Drew would be like, no, not today. You know, Colin Sexton would try to take him off the dribble. He'd just bounce right off Drew Holiday. It was bad.
The other day I was trying to find some old Cavs tweet, but like by searching my Twitter, but Twitter,
that doesn't work.
Just anymore. Like Google is broken, and it just shows you random old tweets that have nothing to do with anything. Oh, Brunson stepped on a fan. Wow. Did he roll his ankle? I wasn't looking.
A fan tripped him. That's more likely consider where they're playing. Damn.
But yeah, I'm sending in the tweet now. I found this old tweet, and it's just how far we've come, man. When I have to, I don't know if it showed up yet. It didn't show up on my screen, but when I have to write in parentheses, please ignore the score on my tweet, that's how you know things were dire. Also, I'm just recording I think I'm recording my computer screen with my phone. It was really nice. Things were wild back then. We're down like 20.
Did you watch the play?
Talking trash. I did. It was wasn't it a 3-pointer? I don't remember. It was a 3. Yeah, it was just
Tony.
Basically a wide open 3.
You've always been shamelessly shameless.
I've become much less shameless.
It was literally he just stepped
a pull up 3.
Guys, if you haven't watched this, like everybody on the Thunder just slowly walking towards the paint because it's like we're up by 20. It's the 4th quarter. Who cares? Colin Sexton just catches it, hits the 3, and Tony
throws up gang signs at the bench. So it was good. It was, it was like, let's go. We got something to feel excited about, It was his rookie season too. This is rookie Colin Sexton. Cavs have probably lost 1 million in a row. A young player is showing some confidence.
By hitting an uncontested three.
Yeah, man, it was a big moment. Many people were saying young bull has arrived. No, but we've come a long way.
I don't think I've even just
to get away from that old kid. I did see that stat too on screen navigation. I know Garland was top like 5. Sam Merrill was farther behind him, and then I don't remember who the third Cavalier was, but I think there were 3 in there. I'm not gonna lie, the fact that Sam Merrill's in there. Oh yeah, I think it was LeVert. The fact that Sam Merrill is in there makes me think it's a little Mickey Mouse. But Garland matches the eye test. I'm not trying to throw shade at Sam, but I don't know if
it's literally what you've been doing all day.
Is he? So. But is that shade to say I'm not sure if he's really a top 10 screen navigator? That might be a little Mickey Mouse.
If you're Thaddeus a Young top stat. 10, you're the sword contributor. So okay, that's something. Current,
but Darius, I believe. But it makes me question the stat itself because I'm like, do we have 3 people in the top 10 just because they're like destroying teams? The defense has been like that great.
Well, they're switching everything. So that's probably has a lot to do with it.
NBA look at the scoreboard moments. Yeah. I remember that. Well, I remember Colin Sexton just having the whole country of Canada going up against him. Fred VanVleet was very upset with this unsportsmanship like behavior.
I take it back. I don't want Kelly Olynyk on the Cavs. I'm gonna say something bold.
I'm glad that you've turned around on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember Fred VanVleet being very upset about Colin Sexton?
I do, and he probably had a reason to be very upset. Like, why are you throwing up gang signs? You're down by 30.
No. The Cavs. I'm pretty sure the Cavs won the game that he was upset about. And he was
that was the game.
You gotta learn how to be an adult.
Who was it? Somebody got into a fight,
win or something.
Again, he was probably right.
No, I don't think so. But I don't remember the details. Let me see if I can pull this up.
I think Colin.
I remember Fred VanVleet was coming across very, very petty.
I know they won. Remember, there was like a random fight.
I looked up Colin Sexton, Fred VanVleet, and Google is showing me a picture of 2013 Miami Heat LeBron James.
Aren't you supposed to be tweeting about Fear the Sword?
I did tweet. I did tweet it out at the start of the third quarter, and then I said I'll retweet it at start of the fourth. But yeah, Colin Sexton versus Fred VanVleet, and it's a picture of LeBron James.
Scotty Barnes will not return tonight for the Toronto Raptors, which is not surprising.
I remember the Serge Ibaka Marquise Chris fight. Yeah,
that's what I was asking for 5 times. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that was so random. It was like, why are they fighting? Like, there was nothing that
there was like a lot of contact on the. It was like an M1 dunk. Then there was a lot of contact, and Serge just like lost his mind.
That was the year that that was the year the Raptors won, or it might have been the year after.
No, I think it was. No, I think it was because it was. I think it was 18-19.
Yeah, that's the year they won.
Yeah,
and I know Kawhi didn't play because he wasn't playing against teams like the Cavs. So yeah.
Oh, here's the answer for a trivia question.
And unfortunately, you spoiled it.
I don't know if we missed it or not, but yeah, it's Rolando Blackman. The guys that we were guessing were like, no, I didn't see Walt Frazier wasn't very high in there. I was scrolling through like the top 20.
I mean, we know like 8 Knicks players, Tony.
Yeah. Are the Knicks going to lose to a Scotty Barnes-less Toronto Raptors?
Well, they're a Jalen
John
Brunson.
Starks. I don't know if John Starks was too high in there either. I didn't see Patrick Ewing. It was a lot of non-stars. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart were actually pretty high up there. Good cut.
He's back, guys.
Back like he never left. See, he created that one for himself, in a way.
Whoa.
Campaign.
It's like dudes were falling.
Yeah. Campaign just shows up.
Remember
he's
when the
Knicks
Knicks
on teams every year.
Tackling people at the end of a game last year and they didn't get a foul called? That was bad.
Yeah, who was that against? It was on the offensive rebound. People were getting thrown around.
Yeah, that was bad. Kelly wants to do something stupid. He did.
What game was that?
This guy sucks.
Was it against Indiana? I don't remember. Yeah, Sexton is the ultimate one-man army guy. Don't want to let that chat go unnoticed. The 3-on-5, the big three nets. Yeah, there's it's a separate game from the Fred VanVleet fight, I think. I don't think it happened the same game. Maybe it did. Actually, I think it was the same game where it's like Colin Sexton in the middle of like 12 Toronto Raptors yelling at him.
Yeah. Yeah, things were But yeah, if you're just, joining and you need access to the stream, say something in the chat and we can hook you up with a VIP access so you can see the stream along with us, or log in with your NBA League Pass account. It's a fun game down the stretch here. We got a 3-point game. It's been ugly at times, but hey, it's basketball and this is the only basketball game on. So thank you everyone for joining. It's been fun.
Yeah. And while you're here, if you're not already following us on Playback, go ahead and follow us. We're going to be doing streams throughout the week. We do the Cavs games as well. If you're a Cavs fan floating over here, we do Cavs games. So if you're not interested in hate watching every night, I see there's 3 people in here right now who aren't following. I'm talking to you 3. Oh, there's only 2 now. One of them left. Either one of them left or became a follower.
Maybe they joined. Who could say?
The 2 people remaining. All eyes are on you. Are you going to follow? I hope you do. I'd be happy. Nothing bad will happen if you don't. I promise. But you should follow.
Creating a profile and stuff, super easy. You don't need to pay for anything or anything. So it's cool. We just kind of hang out, watch games. The people in the chat make fun of us.
It's a tie game now.
Yeah, it's a tie game now. So yeah, don't be shy in the chat.
Dan has a monopoly on the chat, but he's been willing to share with us.
But we don't like Monopoly. We've gone over this, but we don't want to open up that. We don't want to open up that can of worms. I mean, Bridges' shot is still ugly. I do want to clarify that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm checking on the YouTube chat. I tend to neglect that. I apologize. So I don't know if Everything Cavs is still here, but James from Everything Cavs said hello. If you're still here, shout out to you. The great Twitter account. Does fantastic work. Definitely for NBA draft stuff, but even just general Cavs stuff. Really good. He's been on the pod a couple times. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. If you're still here.
Yeah, James, if you're here, head over to Playback.
Ooh, the Towns. No, I think his ankle's fine. Looked like maybe he rolled it again, but I think he just slipped.
I mean, one of the things.
Olynyk's been bad.
when you're playing so many minutes and stuff, and you have bad body control, stuff like that happens when you're tired.
He did step on Olynyk's foot, but it didn't roll.
Well, look like he might have slipped too. It looked like he might have slipped on like a wet spot on the floor or something. I don't know.
When you play that many minutes, you're just opening yourselves up to countless opportunities to roll your ankle.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's going to look at the wall for a second.
Dan, I hope you're happy right now. Yeah. Looking at the wall. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's back already.
8 Christmases.
Well, that wasn't even 8 seconds.
Back here for you guys.
Yeah.
There's literally, I'm so close to the wall. I'm touching the wall. I'm all the way up against it, but I have to nail something up there for you guys.
It seems rude to make these people come in. It seems rude to make these people come to work in Secaucus just to watch like what replays for one game. Like that just seems unnecessary and rude.
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't even think of that.
Guys, if you're watching in Secaucus, join the playback stream. you may have more fun. Yeah, I mean, you'd think they could work from home. I guess maybe they need like 20 cameras or something. I don't know. You think you could work from home, right? I feel like it'd be tough when we're just watching one game. I feel like you just start answering emails, looking at Twitter, and before you know it, it's like, hey, we need you to look at this. And you're like, excuse me? So
haven't been paying attention.
What was the question? So, I could see that happening.
How much does Secaucus actually even help?
I mean, it helps more than like the people.
Maybe more than we realize.
Reviews. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like if you have a whole replay center, replay reviews should be like that, But if it all comes down to the officials on the floor, I guess the main thing it helps with is having people who can like, you know what? I'll make the case right now. I understand. You have a bunch of people looking at all the different angles, so you know which angle to show the refs on the floor. So you're not having them look through 12 different angles. You're just, here's the good one, show it to them. There you go. That's got to be it. The reviews do take too long, though. I agree, old kid.
Do you, old kid, do you grind away on like my career in 2K?
Those are the days, man. It's been a while since I had to grind a my player. I haven't played as much recently, but I'm too old too. I remember, you turn on some music or you join a party with your friends, or even just sometimes I would put a movie on in the background, anything, just background noise and grind my player games. Get that VC, get your badges. Those are the days, man.
My player was so boring.
That's why you had to have some other second stimulant, like a movie on in the background,
right?
Like
but that's what was
video.
Like. But that's the online game wasn't fun. That's my issue with it.
It depends. There were certain years where the online was very fun, and other years where it was just the most toxic, spamming left to right, cheese, that's the step backs.
Yeah.
Really depended on the ethics of your opponent.
Yes, the Dion Waiters line was great.
He gets the most attention, but all of them were horrible.
Really nice job of popping up to the top of like the restricted area from Pirtle there. Caught cat napping, which is easy to do because first off, cat naps, and second off, he's been playing 48 minutes and he's rolled his ankle 12 times in this game. And
he was questionable to begin with.
Like it's just,
I wasn't even sure if he was going to play tonight. I was playing 48.
I would lose my mind if I was a Knicks fan, especially after like how last season ended.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't understand. But even with the heavy minutes, they're up by 2 now against a depleted Toronto team.
Yeah, I mean, the Raptors are a bad team, and they don't have Scotty Barnes.
Mm-hmm. Your defense should be able to lock in here.
Oh, and one.
On cue, 4-point play. I mean, in fairness, Cameron Payne probably shouldn't be out there. But
I think it's tough when you literally have like 3 guys who play like 10 minutes a game.
What was that contest?
That was the worst.
I need to see another replay.
I mean, they do have, he thought that there was 55 seconds left, and if that was the case, they're not calling that on the
Looked
Knicks.
like he was trying. You know how when you're celebrating and you like jump into each other, like the hip bump. That's what Cameron Payne was doing with Jacoby Walter on that contest.
He was trying to do he was trying to be Jetty to Jacoby Walter's LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a crazy closeout.
Hate to make that tough one, then you miss a free throw. Campaign has been just using that off arm very liberally. He's just extending, full extension on that stiff arm.
Bridges that's the second time he did a celebration to the Toronto bench. You better win the game at this point. Otherwise, Fred VanVleet's going to come over and, fly from Houston, start talking about sportsmanship.
It's as he should. I mean, like trash talking to Raptors,
that's okay.
I mean,
yeah. I'm saying you do it twice. You gotta finish the deal now. Good movement from Campaign there. Nice cut and dish to the corner. Didn't result in a three, but ooh, nice hands.
That was really nice hands.
Pull up. I thought that went in for a second. Crazy spin off the front of the rim.
I mean, the Raptors are hanging really tough.
Up by 2 now. 6 minutes left. It's getting a little spooky if you're a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
I mean, nights like this are going to happen in the NBA. I'm not going to act like the Cavs didn't just lose to Miami. So I'm not pretending that this is an indictment on New York, but
there's no record of me watching that game.
There really isn't, huh? No record. No one witnessed it.
I mean, they didn't witness me. I had the camera off, so
yeah,
And who could say that the nonsense I was spewing was actually about the Cavs game?
Yeah, you had a different screen on.
Yeah. But yeah, games like this are going to happen. But I do think there is something to the Raptors. Played the Celtics really good, playing the Knicks really good. I think they just they may have a good matchup with all the length that they have. Like, they're certainly not a good team, but they could be like a troubling team.
Dan, hit the wings will make you competitive line. That's what we return to. Even if you're a bad team, but you have wings, you can compete.
I kind of think, okay, I don't think wings are overrated. I think like the all wings teams are overrated. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
How many times have we seen like the Clippers to get a pass because of injuries, but when they weren't injured, they kind of exploded. The Raptors, when they tried to go like all in with the wings, like not, post Kawhi Leonard, that didn't really work like they thought it would, and it's like I know the Celtics have a lot of wings, but what they really have is like Drew Holiday and Derek White.
They have talent is the thing.
Like neither of those guys are wings. Al Horford isn't a wing. Like, yeah, they just have they have versatile guys at their positions. And I think that's more important than like, let's just have 6-7 dudes everywhere. So
yeah, the versatility is more important than just the straight up size, because again, Drew Holiday, that's not a wing, but he can scale up to guard wings if he has to. You could even, you don't want to necessarily, but you could even have him guard a big man in the post for a couple possessions if it comes down to it. Like, that's versatility. And so a team like Toronto and even a team like Atlanta, Atlanta's more talented, but they each have a lot of athletic, lanky guys, not as much talent as a team like Boston. But RJ Barrett's got legit talent. Like he's kind of carved up the Knicks here.
Yeah, I mean RJ Barrett does have talent.
26 points, 11 and 19.
Old kid, we do not have to hand it to the Atlanta Hawks under any situation. So just keep that in mind.
They got some talent to a much lesser degree than Boston or New York, and to a better degree than Toronto.
They have guys that should be better, that are hypothetically better than what they actually are.
Mm.
Except for Jalen Johnson.
But they've been
Atlanta. He's actually good.
Atlanta is a good
Oh,
team to me. They're not bad. They're not great, but they're good on my tiers.
did you hear Brad the other day? I think that was last
What did
game.
he say?
I
Did he
almost
say
lost my
something about
mind.
Darius?
No, he said they showed the NBA play-in chart, and he was like, "Don't even need to play the games. The Atlanta Hawks are going to win because they're the best team.
Oh.
They're the best team in the NBA besides the Cavs." And I was like,
I think I did hear that. Actually.
I was like, bro, you've never seen an NBA game that doesn't involve the Cavs. And then he said Darius Garland's the second best point guard
That's it right there.
He's seen. Besides,
Kyrie was number one.
Kyrie
yeah,
Irving.
that's what I heard. Yeah,
that's
what I thought you were gonna hit.
I was like, dude,
you nailed it. When this is literally the issue, he only watches Cavs games. He doesn't watch the other NBA games, so that's why he thinks the Hawks are amazing.
It's like, yo, the Hawks. You don't want to, like the Hawks.
I'll take Jared Allen over any center in the NBA. That's a real quote that he said.
I wouldn't take Jared Allen over like
Karl Anthony Towns.
I wouldn't take him over Karl Anthony Towns now. While we played the Nuggets.
Yeah, that was again. Oh man, Brad is one of a kind. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so locking into this game,
coming down to the wire.
This is like, it seems like the last couple times they tried to spam that pick and roll that they've used a million times, and just kind of like it's not getting those same results.
Yeah, did a real good job covering it right there. Good cut though, man. Josh.
Well, that's
missed the layup, but that was a good cut.
That's the thing. Pearl's at the 3-point line because Karl Anthony Towns, and he can't leave him for a second. It just allows so many cuts when you just have like. When you have
spaced out like that.
That's so good at spacing. And you can't leave, like, you can't really leave Porzingis, but you can kind of like gamble a little bit. You can't gamble on Cat because Cat is
so quick.
Right. And if you close out hard on Cat, he can take you off the dribble in a way that, like, I think Kristaps Porzingis, he's pretty slow off the dribble, honestly. You can recover. Like, Cat is quick. He's a really good passer. That was a really good take by RJ Barrett. So
he's having a great game.
Yeah.
He's got this game tied up.
The problem with RJ Barrett is he doesn't get to the line and he doesn't get threes. So he's a 2x2 player, and Noah's Ark players are not what you look for. Because,
very tough shot right there.
Yeah, because you're just relying on tough shots and you get nothing extra, nothing easy. Those fouls suck. Gets a little contact, stumbles a little bit, and then just kind of throws the ball, and it's like, oh, free throws. Like, I don't know, man.
Oh, no free throws.
That's good. Even though we hate the Knicks, we do support honest basketball in this chat.
Yes. Back to RJ. He's at his way all night.
I mean, it's just this pick and roll.
You just want to get Cat in action, attack him downhill.
He's played 900 minutes today. He might not have played 900 minutes, but he's certainly played like...
Feels like it.
Yeah. And he's rolled his ankle 8 times.
He's
rolled
right
his
at
ankle
him.
3 times.
Did a decent job of containing that drive. Give him credit. But
that's a
pass
good
out to the corner. Big shot right there.
Yeah. 32 minutes from Cat so far.
Anunoby and Bridget have played 38.
All right, yeah, they gotta, give him nothing easy.
Good defense right here.
Cat needs to take
everyone
this
all the way out. Yeah.
Try it.
Well, you ended up with.
Oh man, that was tough.
Count the shot. Okay, wow. That sucks if you're Toronto. You played really good defense right there, and then. Oh.
I don't know, man.
Feels like a no call to me. Whoa, did
man.
he even touch him? Hold on. I thought maybe
Did
he
have their
whacked his
challenge?
elbow. I thought he whacked his elbow. I don't know if he even touched him. And that foul was called like
I think
I wasn't sure if it
challenged.
was even going to count the shot because it sounded like it was called before he even went up. So where was the contact?
Well, they used their challenge way too early. Remember on that like cat out of bounds thing?
Yeah.
And they lost. So
man,
that's
that was
tough.
really
Because
questionable.
if you use that challenge, you're probably it's 104. Jeez. That was what was the thought process?
Yeah.
What you can't do is like give up another 3 here.
You can't implode.
It would be easy to implode. He wants to take the hero shot. He has Dick on him. They're saying double.
Uh-oh. Nope.
That was ambitious.
You'll live with that. Yeah, I was just saying you're good. I mean, possession
not
from
a 3-point shooter.
Toronto. RJ. Wow. Wow. Okay, this is getting a little helter-skelter. Toronto ball.
This has a lot of this is our last game open gym vibes right now.
Bruce Brown and the cowboy fit just makes everything better right there.
That jacket has to weigh like 10 pounds at least. Like surprised he can even like point with that.
Yeah.
Good for him.
No, he's been standing up all game. He's got to be sweating in there.
Yeah.
All right. Going away from RJ Barrett after a couple.
We got Donovan Mitchell's cousin.
Is that Donovan Mitchell? It looks like him. He hit the big 3 earlier in this little run here.
What's like a small spider?
He's the itsy bitsy spider.
Yeah. All right, getting Cat into a pick and roll.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
and forth. That's another signal to the bench.
Did he do the cowboy hat? I think the Bruce Brown.
Oh yeah, like tipping his hat.
Yeah,
that's good.
I don't like this post up. This is a bad. And what?
Ooh.
How are you not going to count that and one? How
Did they not count it?
No, how are you not going to count that? But you're going to count the Jalen
Brunson 3. Good, see right there.
He's going
up. Yeah,
we were both going up. We're all going up.
We were given the demonstration. He was not dribbling. No part of his arms were moving down.
No.
Oh man.
He was trying to go up. He can't go up. The guy, Brunson's arm was across his elbows.
This dirty crossover. Okay, here we go, Dick. Bury it.
Many are saying Dick sucks.
Dick comes up short right there. Needed a few more inches right there. Would have been a swish.
Thank you.
Okay. Got it out of the way. We met our quota.
I had zero confidence that I was going in.
But yeah, no, didn't look very confident.
Recover. Good recovery.
Josh Hart dagger.
Got to get the rebound.
PTSD just flared up right there on that.
Great. They're running behind. You got 5 guys behind you.
1-on-4.
Oh!
Wow.
RJ
1-on-4. Death by RJ Barrett.
Death by RJ Barrett. That may be the worst type of death.
Okoro-esque. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking when I saw that. It's like, man, this is like that preseason game when Okoro went coast to coast and dunked it for the win. Look at that. Isaac would hit him with the 1-2 euro. But in all seriousness, great take right there. Really, I mean, over 4 guys. Wasn't even really moving that fast either. That was like a very controlled break.
Yeah, I thought they were going to come from behind and get him.
Yeah. I didn't think he was going to go all the way to the rim, honestly. I thought he would stop and try to get control.
Yeah.
All right, who's winning this game? Call it now, Jackson. Who's going to out-execute the other team right now?
I mean, the Knicks. They just have so much more firepower. Yeah. But
Raptors by 20. Wow.
I like it. Overtime.
I like the
overtime
confidence.
Gets away from you.
It's true.
There's nothing worse than losing by 10 in overtime. That's always tough.
Yeah. Gives me flashbacks to the 2015 finals, game 1. Barely gets overtime, and then the Warriors like shut us out, I think.
Kyrie shatters his knee.
Yeah, it's
Things
not
of that
good
nature.
stuff.
If
It's not good.
Shump just makes that little rebound putback thing,
yeah,
the Cavs are back-to-back champs. LeBron is still in Cleveland. Yep. Kyrie is definitely not in Cleveland, but
But your cat LeBron, is still named Kyrie.
Well, he is now, anyways. But LeBron may have 8 championships. The Warriors never get
double
started.
On Brunson.
Oh,
that pass just barely got there.
What a good pass!
Yeah,
man, great pass from Brunson.
Back and forth. Let's see that pass again. Bounce pass through traffic.
So you got the double. So you have the numbers down below. It's just I don't know about doubling Brunson in these situations. Do you want the ball out of his hand? I feel like the Knicks are at their best when they have the team in rotation. This isn't like the 2022 Knicks. Like, double, exactly. Get the ball out of Brunson's hand, make RJ Barrett beat you.
It's exactly. It's with this construction of this current team, you don't necessarily want to double and just give an advantage because they have 4 other guys who can take advantage of that, who can create out of if a team's in rotation, they can beat a rotation. Before when it was RJ Barrett and I don't even know that team from 2-3 years ago didn't have as many options. Even Josh Hart's okay, yeah, sure. Josh Hart hit some big shots out of those moments, but still, it's like, do you want Jalen Brunson one-on-one, or do you want Josh Hart hitting a backbreaker 3?
Right.
You'll probably take your chance on Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Also, just doubling him out while he's middle of the floor, top of the key, not the best place to send the double team. If it's near the sidelines, sure. But at that point, you're just really opening yourself up to problems.
So
I don't know how they respond.
I don't know if anyways. Oh, geez. This isn't good.
Barely get it in.
Got that.
High pick and roll, getting Towns in the action, going downhill.
Good
D right there. Good help from Anunoby.
Yeah, he waited.
All right, that could be the game.
Play defense. No, don't foul. Don't foul. Don't foul. You have time. Don't foul. Don't foul. Play defense. Play defense.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna.
You have time. Just play defense. Because if you're down 4, the game's over. Play defense. You have a timeout. Get the ball back.
Oh, early.
Way too early, but dagger. Wow.
Man. From 4 feet behind the line. Anthony Towns. What a monster shot.
That was. Yeah, that was a monster shot. So much earlier in the shot clock than what anyone thought.
There was 5 on the clock when he started the shot. He was 30 feet away, so it went through with 3 on the clock. But good defense right there. Takes the bump, stays, gives Anunoby time to help.
Yeah, the tough thing there with RJ, you have to know the help defense is coming. You gotta make you're gonna have a small advantage, and you gotta get into him maybe 1 pump fake, but you can't do the second pump fake. It was over at that point. Good job by Cat. I mean, he's a big guy, big shot. Big thing from him on both sides of the floor. As I've said, the Knicks suck, but Cat, he may not suck.
I actually like Cat just because he's one of those players who gets picked on a lot, despite being really talented and having some obvious limitations. But I tend to like him just because he feels like the NBA star who gets bullied by fans the most. So I'm kind of feel bad for him at times. I'm like, you know what? He's pretty good. Look, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
he's shout out to Cat. Hopefully the Knicks season ends in a complete disaster, though.
I mean, it will.
Oh yeah. The family stuff too. People were so ruthless to him at times. And he's a really good player.
Not a lot of great sideline out of bounds executions from our guys.
Yeah,
not our guys. Definitely not our guys. The Raptors sucked. I think this game shows that.
It's true. Their execution down the stretch was just whoa. It's over. Yeah, the poor execution down the stretch. Even the RJ Barrett layup to tie it was like really audacious.
Not great execution, yeah. Audacious.
RJ like airballed the corner three. They got kind of bailed out by a three from Davion Mitchell. Then they just really the double team with Pirtle was questionable. New York they earned this win. It was a rough, ugly game at times, but they earned this one. It was pretty big performance down the stretch. Executed very well.
Yeah. So, yeah, good. It was a game that the Knicks had to win, especially after they, played everybody 40 minutes. So, good for them. We'll see how they do in the NBA Cup on Wednesday. But we will be here. But we will be watching that game. So, see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing some NBA Cup game. Mavs, Thunder tomorrow, 9:30 should be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, the Hawks
already won. Brad has already given them the win. So I'm riding with Brad. Hawks all the way. They're going to Vegas. Get ready to ask Trae Young some questions, Jackson.
I will not ask Trae Young any questions. I will knock it off the plane. I'll say, no, you can just take me back to Cleveland. But yeah, we'll be here tomorrow. So thank you everybody for joining. We really appreciate each of you in the chat. You guys make this a lot of fun. So, Tony, any last words? Oh, go to fearsword.com. My What We Learned is on there.
Do it.
Tony has an article about Evan Mobley.
It's true.
Corey has an article about
Jared Allen coming tomorrow.
That's coming out tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
We got good stuff at Fear the Sword. You better check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Cavs.
I agree. Go Cavs. Dan beat me.